Welcome back, guys, to another exciting episode of All About Life. In today's segment, we have two guests, one that you guys already know who has been on the channel, and we have a new guest.
Hi, everyone. I'm Darlene.
And so what brought you here?
Well, I've met you recently. And we like to talk and have conversations, and I found out you guys have this channel. It's an interesting channel. You guys to have conversations about many things, about life, women, men, and our experiences. Like, why not?
Yeah, and so
you
she's gonna give us her side of things. And of course, we got our boy.
YouTube, what it do? It's your boy Jane. Let's get it up. Let's run it up. Let's run up the numbers. Let's go.
So in today's topic, we are going to be discussing the experiences of dating as a man and woman in our society. The pros and cons. Now, guys, the pros and cons are something essential for you guys to understand because while we're dating, we're going to be going through a lot of experiences, some good and some not so good. So some of our experiences are going to give you a nice idea of how the dating market looks like out there. So for starters, talk to me about your overall experience of dating and what is that pool consist of?
Well, I have like kind of a limited pool, but I would say a wide variety and a kind of a wide range because I am like bisexual parent, so I have dated men and I have dated women. So I have a little that experience that intermixes with both genders and sexes. So I have that. And I would say it's very interesting. Both are different, definitely. You have, I guess, not issues, but you get confronted with different things with men versus women, for sure. And for seriousness, I only had really one real relationship with a woman, so I don't have a lot of, even then, that's even limited, because I don't even have that much serious experience. Everything else was a fling, so.
So from what we're going to discuss being the pros and cons, what's an approximation of people that you have dealt with as a whole? So pull all the men and women, give an approximation of numbers of what you've dealt with. Because now the audience will know, all right, well, if she sampled, let's say, out of 20 people, this is the result out of 20. So give an approximation.
Like including her
a guesstimation.
All of that. Mm-hmm. Probably like around 8 males to 8 to 9 maybe to like 4 to 5 women.
Okay.
Or even less.
All right. So we have approximately 10 to 12, somewhere around that ballpark.
Yeah.
All right. Jonathan, what's your pool consist of? Talk a little bit about your dating experience.
I've been in over like 150 dates with different type of women, you know.
Okay.
And it's just my overall experience, you know. It's not serious relationships because I've only been in a few. Nothing crazy, you know.
Okay. And as for me, you guys know I have a pretty wide dating pool. You guys already know from what I've said earlier in previous videos. And my experience have been pros and cons as far as, you guys know. You know, when it comes down to it, I've been with women who have treated me very well. And I've been with women that treated me not so well. And as we started from the beginning of the journey, you know, we learned a lot of things. We learned a lot of things about ourselves and we learned a lot about women. So, Darlene, take it away where we talk about the pros. What were some of the pros that you realized when you were dating between men and women? Since she actually has a sample of both, she'll be able to give you two perspectives of this topic. What are the pros? Some of your good experiences.
Well, for both, I have good experiences where people have both been attentive and like listened well and like were there and showed me good signs of what, like, reciprocate a lot of my energy, I guess, in the sense of what I gave, they typically would give back to me as well. Those were like more serious dating and actually getting to know one another. A majority of my experiences mostly been casual experiences. And those we were very transparent. So that was, I guess, a pro. I'm a very transparent person with what my intentions are when I...
What are your thoughts about casual relationships with men and women? Where it's just strictly pretty much what it is, right?
I think it's fine as long as you're clear about that. And a lot of times when it gets messy is when you're unclear.
That's interesting. So she'll probably be revisiting that on the con section. Yes. Now, would you say when you were just basically in casual relationships, would you say that they played an ideal role, or do you feel like they were a detriment in the long run? Meaning that there were more the idea of just being with someone sexually and not actually trying to build with them. What do you see about that?
I mean, if you want it, that's why you have to like actually go for it. You know? So it's like if, and at the time I didn't want a serious relationship. I wasn't really going for that. And if I did want it, I would present that or try to expend it.
Did they develop feelings or did you develop feelings while having a casual relationship? Because a lot of my viewers, they understand that a lot of times when you're just hooking up with somebody, sometimes one of the or both people can catch feelings. So
I feel like it all depends how long you've been casual too. And,
okay.
And for at least for me, if I like it, for my kids, they didn't last more than like maybe 2-3 months. So it's like it's not like I was staying with these people.
Too much investment.
Yeah, it was not that the investment.
investment.
Yeah, not much emotional investment. But they would come back though.
Okay.
So and that's what I noticed. I'm like, are they putting more emotional investment? And it seems like they are.
Yeah.
Because I'm not reaching out for them, and it still happens now. Like I don't even get like literally just the slightest conversation, just one interaction. A lot of them keep reaching out. I'm like, I already rejected you, my dude. Like, I already made it clear that I don't want something like this. So why?
So anything else you would like to add on to the pros?
Well, I wasn't even a pro, but a pro is like, I don't know. I do, one of the pros that I would say is like just having that company, you know, and having that, and the company that I did have was good. You know, I was comfortable. I felt good, and those experiences were good. The intimacy was good, and that's what a pro with men and women, because the intimacy is very different for men and women.
It's gonna be different from each sex.
From each sex is so different, and there were parts I like. For me, I like more a gentle and kind of physical relationship sexually, and even like that sense of intimacy. I like kind of like that switch of a little bit more rough and a little bit than the softer side.
Yeah,
you know, and I think with men you could have that both, and also women was different, but I appreciate more the softer aspects of that relationship that I don't really see that with a man.
Gotcha.
You know, so, and with a man, I feel like I know how to react with a man way more easier than I do with a woman.
With a woman, yeah.
Even as like a queer woman, it's hard for me to like talk to women because I know we're complicated. You know, and like I'm very
heard
shy.
It from an actual woman.
Yeah, and men don't. I'm not saying men are not complicated too, because men are fucking complicated as well. I'm not giving y'all slack either. Excuse you, no. No, we're not doing. We each have our qualms and things, but we also have the good sides. And when we're good to each other. I say
we're rather simple, but
yeah, exactly. That is it. But for me, at the basis of it, if we're good to each other, then it'll be good, right?
Yeah. All right, and now Jonathan, talk to us about some of your pros.
Pros as dating in general.
Dating in general. How has your experiences been on the pro side?
One of the pros. I'm just gonna name it off the top. Okay. One of the pros is that as a guy, you mostly get to plan the date and basically finance it. I don't know if that's a pro. That might go into the con area, like having to pay for everything.
It's up to you. How you want to play
it. The planning, do you like the aspect of controlling the planning process of it?
Does that mean you get to lead, right?
Yeah, you get to lead. You like that part of it? But I know at the flip side, you're paying for financing it, so that could be definitely a con. But if you like that aspect, oh yeah, I want to make that decision. It could be a pro, but that's up to you.
I view it as a pro because you get to set the tone, you know?
Okay.
You get to set the tone of like how you want the relationship to go by being upfront, by like being honest with that person.
What other pros have you found with dating?
Let me see. I gotta think about this.
Damn, my nigga don't have many pros to say.
Come back to me.
Well, I on the other hand, have a lot of pros, okay? So the first pro is the sexual access that you have. That's just being upfront.
That's just
more different people that you date, the more different flavors you taste, right? Now,
it's facts.
You know, so in my life, I tasted the rainbow, and we a lot of Skittles. a lot of Skittles, and so it is exciting in that part, right? So even when things go wrong, it's like, all right, well, there's always another person there, right? There's always someone else out there.
Exactly.
And that is a little exciting. You have the bad, the bad side of, oh man, I just lost this person. I like them. But on the flip end side, you're like, ooh, a new person to, test the waters out. Now, also the bonding. I mean, bonding is great. I mean, like when you're able to talk with a woman and, you're able to really actually like that person outside of sex because, sex is great and that's something you're going to always want to do. But if you can't even be around that person after you're done
Not
fucking,
worth it. Yeah, not worth it.
it's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, you know? You need to be around good company, someone that you actually get along with. And also someone that can test you. Because when you're around,
too.
you need...
You need that, like, you need to challenge each other as well, like, to push each other.
Yeah. You know, for example, if let's say me and her were having a conversation and all I did was agree with her, it would be boring. It's like, well, there's nothing to add. I can't add because I'm just saying whatever you say, I agree with.
Yeah,
but when I can disagree and bring up my own points, or maybe not even disagree. Like, sometimes we'll have conversations and she's like, I 90% disagree, right?
No,
she told me that just the other day. I was dying. She's like, she's like, I'm right there with you, but
you lost it these last 10
yeah, we were talking about femininity and masculinity, and you guys already know how that goes.
There has to be opposite, guys. That's what makes things interesting.
Yeah,
everybody has the same opinion. What's the point of doing this?
Yeah, you don't want the whole everyone. You don't want that like. You don't want to yes anyone.
Yeah.
And you don't want to like be. You don't want to be yourself.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, if someone would agree with me all the time, I might as well just talk to the wall.
Yeah, talk to yourself and just marry yourself at that point. But who wants that?
You know. So again, those are some of my pros. Other pros that I've have experienced. I've went through portions of my life, I guess, kind of seeing how I would want to be treated. Essentially, you know, it's like figuring out what works for Anthony. What is something that I'm drawn into? What are my likes? What are my dislikes? So dating on the pros have taught me what I don't like and what I actually do like. How I want to be treated and how I want to treat others.
You're there for your experiences.
Yeah. So, you know, when you go through all these when you meet different people, essentially, you know, you realize that there are going to be people for you and then people that are not for you. Even if their physical is for you, the mental, psychological, you being able to get along with them may not. So, guys, I think we're going to be talking about the cons. So, Darlene, you're going to start it off. She could talk about cons for men and women. Let's see which one is heavier on, you know?
Man. Bueno. So, yeah. Well, transparency, I find that would be more of a pro for women. I think they're a bit more transparent. Granted, there's a lot of fluff they have to.
That ain't our experience.
But I don't know.
It's the complete opposite from transparency.
I mean, but then that's miscommunication right there. You know, so there's a big for me. There's a big communication there. Yeah. If both of y'all don't get what's going on, or you're not listening to one another, that says about the communication of that relationship. You know, so granted, and we all listen differently, so it's like
sometimes we listen to just speak.
Yeah, exactly. So you're not really listening; you're just talking.
You're just ready.
Exactly, and that's what active listening is important.
Yeah.
You know, but
okay.
A con, just that, like, at least for guys, from my experience, is like that they don't really want to say what they want. At least they want to do. They will call you for one thing, right? For the sex, basically, right? Mm-hmm. They'll only reach out for that, and then they will act shady in other ways. But when I confront them or ask them about why are they doing this, as a normal person would do, if you want to be like responsible and like do it, like, okay, what the hell's happening here?
Yeah.
And approaching it in a appropriate way, and they're still like not responding. Like, what's that? Like, why? What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
What's the reason?
Sounds like a game being played.
Exactly. When you're playing games.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I don't want to play games.
So what was the con on the women's side? Because I didn't quite get the con. It sounded like a pro. I knew it, guys.
I just use that to express the con on the guy.
Yeah, exactly. I just use it to like enforce the con.
So we know guys ain't shit. We know guys ain't shit. Now tell us how women ain't shit.
No, it's true though. No, we get it's like it's a lot of push and pull. That's what I noticed. At least that one experience that I had, the major one. Even like with the other, like someone else that also I'm thinking.
Alright, so what was? It
was a lot of push and pull in the sense like they are like very erratic. We're all I don't want to say emotional, but like it's just a lot going on, and we're very, very intense all the time.
Okay.
And that could be a lot for someone to experience, and having to go through that constantly. Granted, you do the same thing with a man as well. You go through these constant emotions, right? That constant battle, like what is happening, and I also felt the same way with a woman as well, because like, yo, what the hell's happening? Like,
would you say that if a man exhibited that trait that you just described of a woman, would that be a turn off for you?
Yeah.
There we go. I just wanted the public to see.
Yeah, like man, if I don't like it with either.
Yes, but one is more tolerable than the other, and it would be the woman, because you were still in that situationship for a while, for years. Right? At least the major one. The major one, she was in it for years. I know some of the background stories.
It was.
But if it was from a male, she would have probably cut that nigga off real quick. Just because it would rub her like you're acting like a female in a sense.
No, not even. I feel it just like men handle emotions differently as well.
But that is one of the perks of dating a man. If you date
because I just said it. Men don't express themselves.
No, love, that's different. So we have the non-expression, as in men don't. But men don't also they're not dramatic with what you said, where it's intense all the time. Now, if you date a certain toxic type of guy, right? There's always the exceptions. There's always guys that they act like drama queens, right? But typically, women are not attracted to that behavior pattern. Not from when it comes to men.
Oh, there are some who are attracted to.
No, I know, love, but it's
like not dramatic guy.
Yeah.
Shit.
But dramatic in a sense where it's more attributed to men. Like there are gonna be distinguished parts.
Then you're doing double standards.
Well, love, you believe that the men and women were identical? Identical as far as you would have interchanged the personality traits from each one? Because I don't think it would have fit it that way. I don't think she could have mimicked how the guy acted and the guy would have mimicked how she acted and you would have treated them the same. I think one would have been an off-put. At that point, they might both have been off-putted to you if they swapped the way they were both behaving with one another. I mean, you let me know.
I mean, I don't like either behavior in anyone. So I don't really understand.
So imagine the man, right? So imagine the man was acting like the woman that you were on and off with for all those. Imagine he was acting like her, like identical to that behavior pattern. And then imagine that woman was acting identical to the man.
The defining factor is love, man.
Well, the defining factor is love, but how do you get to love?
By being attracted to that person, by having that compatibility, by sharing that intimacy, right? And those good things outweighed a lot of the things that kind of were things that you should have probably stopped doing or should have had a serious conversation like, yo, what the hell's happening right now?
Okay.
You may cut it off, maybe sooner, who knows? But love, I feel like, is what, and I've always said it, love makes you do things you wouldn't really normally do in normal situations sometimes.
Yeah. It makes you go above and beyond.
Yeah, it makes you literally go above and beyond for somebody. And people obviously love your family, but romantic love is also another intense form of love that is not the same for everybody.
So love could also be a con, guys.
Yeah, like love. It really is, and love could really break you. And when you are heartbroken, it's like an intense fucking few months or even years, depending how long.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
If for example, I'm sure if you're a widow, when you after like 25 years or even 5 years, and your partner like suddenly die in a car accident, how long you gotta be fucking grieving if you read love.
Yeah. You would definitely.
You would not probably be okay. For a little while, you know, like.
And she's talking about love, because if the person didn't love the individual, then the next day she could be with somebody else.
And you probably think about it. Yeah, like you could probably think about it, but like if you don't if you're not invested emotionally, then you're really quick to just move on.
See, guys, but that's why we tell you have to make sure that women are emotionally invested in you. If they're not,
and also like in my case, and also on the flip side, women have to also be able to know is that guy emotionally where I am, where I want right now? Are they really okay? Are we compatible in the way that can we communicate in a semi way? Can you actually listen?
All right, so Jonathan, what are the cons that you experience? Oh God, guys,
passive aggressive behavior. You know, just. Not being told what's wrong, not being communicated with clearly, and just expecting to know what I did wrong, whatever it was, whatever could have been interpreted, you know.
Sounded like that intensity that she mentioned before.
No, but like not even then, because even when we were intense, we were expressing ourselves even after.
Yeah, but it's passive and aggressively.
Not necessarily. Were.
Why would it be intense then? There's no intensity if there's no opposition.
No, the intensity is the emotion.
The intensity of the clash between yous, because we're
not like arguing at the top of our lungs or being upset.
But the way that she's making you feel, and potentially vice versa.
No, because I
when you felt bad, why would you feel bad? If she was treating you good, you wouldn't feel bad.
Yeah.
She wasn't treating you good.
Yeah,
So love that's seeing guys.
But
you gotta
that's
sometimes
passive-aggressive,
pull it out. That
not
is
necessarily.
passive.
No, that's just a
All right.
that's just a conflict.
No,
That's
but-
not a passive.
If-
What is passive aggressive? Can you give me an example?
If you
Something
have
passive
passive
aggressive.
aggressive is not you communicating that there is issues. You just
Okay, but we were
acting
communicating because there were issues. So that's not. We're not being passive aggressive.
So what was
There were just issues.
All right, so
we're talking about these
give
issues.
I guess a sense of an abbreviation or an give us an idea of what.
Well,
what
there
would be an issue.
there were times that like we weren't like I would want to spend time with them and they were busy with other people. They would tell me they were busy with other people, but
Okay.
I wanted to spend time with them. But I was not being passive aggressive. They were just not giving the space that I was requesting and asking for, rightfully so, in my opinion.
So all they did was just deny.
Kind of ignore, deny and ignore in those cases, yeah.
So deny and ignore, and that was it. That was the only problem you had.
No,
with
not
that
the
person.
only, not the only problem. That was one of the. That was
So
a
you
problem
did say
that-
you used the word intensity. What made that intense? Because that doesn't sound intense.
Well,
if someone
no,
is just
because
not
like it would
communicating
be
when you
kind
there's
of
no intensity.
happening
There's nothing.
semi-frequently though.
No,
There
but
were multiple occasions that would be the thing. So that was the intensity part and how I felt.
It was a feeling within.
Yeah, and that's what the intensity, the emotional aspect of it, and going back to the love.
So it wasn't
Because
intense.
love-
All right, so the situation wasn't intense. It was just how you felt about the situation.
Yeah, but it kind of was because if you telling me you want me and you love me, why are you not?
Isn't that passive aggressive?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is.
If I tell you I want you and show otherwise, isn't that passive aggressive? Ding ding ding.
Mm-hmm. Can I say the?
Always gotta pull it out of them. But
One more con is being ghosted out of nowhere without no explanation.
oh, that's a good one.
Experience that one.
Like you
Oh,
have,
guys,
you felt like you had a
Most of the
great,
guys though, but
you felt like you had a great date. Like you,
nah, girls do ghost.
Oh, buddy, go pay.
you felt like you had an amazing time with this chick. The next time you hit her up, no response.
Block.
Damn.
Or an excuse like, oh, my pet died, or
My pet died.
or like I've been really busy with school and they
Hey,
don't go to
that's
school.
true,
They
though.
no, but sometimes
I
they don't
got
go to
that
school.
excuse.
Sometimes
I got
they don't
the
go to
school excuse
Sometimes
before.
they never even mention school in the date, and they be like, "Oh, I've been
Yeah,
busy with school."
Oh, now you go to school all of a sudden. But okay. Any other cons?
There's a lot, but I'm gonna let you go.
All right.
Damn.
So I'll talk about my cons. So being used for sex. All right. I know that you didn't really mention too much about a con, what men do, which that's usually a con.
that is. Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah.
I just.
Where
yeah,
you're being
moved
used
on.
for sex.
I would
So,
agree to that. Yes.
Yeah.
I
So
would agree to that.
there are guys that are being used for sex by women. So for
Yeah,
example,
also, yeah,
a girl who's not looking for a relationship but knows you throw down good dick, she's gonna just play along with you and see how it goes. And she will be ambiguous in the sense that she won't communicate. Yeah.
Are you like doing relationship things at the time?
Well, I was
Or
treating
just
the
sexual?
person. All right, so majority of the people that I have interacted, because I've told my viewers this before. When I date with a purpose. I don't just date to just have fun.
Oh, so this is a dating situation, like actually strictly
Yes,
dating,
so-
not just sexual, casual.
Yeah.
sex.
So,
Okay.
but they would make it seem like they're looking for more, but
that's
only hit me
misleading.
up when they want me to do.
So very misleading.
Correct.
Okay, so very misleading.
But that's one of the characteristics. So we could say that I've dealt with misleading individuals. Essentially, say one thing, do another,
Yes.
which we talk about that on this channel a lot. Another con that I ran into is when someone wants something from you, but is not willing to reciprocate. So they essentially say, hey, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. A girl might want you to take her out. A girl might want you to spend more time with her. A girl might want you to do something that is out of your way, whatever it may be. And then when you notice that you're like, okay, cool, I want something out of this. So now you as a man, you might tell the girl to do something for you. It could be a cook. You might ask her to cook for you. You might ask her to buy groceries for your apartment. You might ask her anything, do a favor for you. And you notice that she's not. In fact, when you actually ask her, it almost is like you've never said anything. I've had times where the person would be like, oh, my bad, babe, I forgot. And it's like, you forgot. But I remember when you asked me for something, you kept asking me repeatedly and I didn't forget. And that dynamic where the other person doesn't want to do for you, they just want to receive. It's receive, it's me, but it's not about you.
Yeah.
One-sided relationship, translation.
Yes, and no,
You experienced
No,
that?
not necessarily one side. To that extreme. I've never experienced that, but I definitely kind of like had moments of where they would kind of sense of misleading.
Misleading.
They were like, oh yeah, I do want to see you, I do want to do this, but they were like flake all the time.
Yeah.
I've definitely had that.
Which is the
counterproductive. You're literally telling me you want to see me and you want me. Oh yeah, I want to be with you. I miss you. Blah blah blah. But like you're not actually I'm telling you, let's go out and do something. Yeah. No, nothing. Yeah. I'm like, you're playing games.
And that spirals with your emotions because now in your mind you're like, well, they said this, but they're not doing it.
Yeah, so
why? You're like, they like me or they care for me, but wait, why are they mistreating me? Why are they, so there's a confusion state of mind. But anyways, guys, there are so many pros and cons. We've only touched the surface on some of them. Your dating experience might be completely different from ours, but it's giving you an idea of what you may encounter when you start dating, or maybe you already have been dating and ran into these issues. Doesn't necessarily make anyone good or bad. Good or bad can be subjective. The other person may not have really liked you like that. Actually, we had a previous conversation before doing this video, and someone may still date you, but not really like you like that, right? They're seeing what they can get out of you, whether it's sexual, whether it's monetary or favors that you do, or maybe even your company. They enjoy your company, but they don't really like you. There's a difference, So a lot of these experiences, they're here to mold and teach you how to, maneuver yourself in the dating world. Any last words?
I would say I have more positive experiences though than negative. I would say my overall experience. I would say most of it. I would say I learned a lot, and I don't regret any of my experience. I would say.
Yeah, that's good.
I actually wanted to. I don't want to talk about it. But that was a very interesting one.
I regret some of them.
Yeah, I would say I regret one major one.
With you?
Yeah, no.
One major with me, a few. Not major though. None of them were major.
But what were some? I want just one thought. I have a question. Yeah. What were parts of the positive experience?
What about the positive?
Like what made it good? What made it worthwhile?
We talked about the pros. The pros were, like I said, having a lot of different sex. Having a good time with the personality, the person being somebody that you like to communicate with and that you are essentially bonding with. Some of the pros is being able to lead, being able to feel like a man, because we all know that men feel like men when they're around women. If you were just around guys, you wouldn't feel like a man. There's a disconnect. We need women in order to feel like men. For heterosexual, correct. Yeah, if you're gay or you're trans or whatever, you may not apply. But we're talking about heterosexual relationships. So guys need women in order to feel like a man, right? And women, usually, even though we have movements out here, you already know, but typically a woman is not a woman without a man. We both need each other. Yeah. In a heterosexual way, because if you need another man, you need another man. If you need another woman, you need another woman. But, you need someone to validate your existence. You can't live life without validation. And, so, Jonathan, any last thoughts?
You learn a lot from both the good and bad, Don't let that shit get you bitter. Don't let that shit get you depressed, because it's life is gonna happen to you.
Well said. So that's our overall experiences. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them in the comment section below. Make sure you do like this video. We are growing and we have new guests on the channel.
Like, comment, subscribe, leave a video request on the bottom. We'll get to you.
Definitely. Well, thank you for watching, and as always, this channel is all about you. Catch you guys on the next episode. Bloopers.